California's Second Amendment battle is underway. I hope you're having a good day. Appreciate you being here at Maverick Gunworks channel. Let's go ahead and get started. Most of you may have already heard what is going on in California, but for those who haven't, I'll try to go through this real quick. We'll all be on the same page. But a federal judge out of San Diego, Justice Benitez, has overturned California's 32-year ban on assault weapons. Very, very cool. It's a 94-page decision. If you haven't had a chance to read it yet, I highly suggest you go and read it. It's a very well thought out, it's a very well written argument for the Second Amendment and why California's unconstitutional ban should be eliminated. Okay, so he did stay his decision for 30 days. Californians can't go out just yet to buy ARs like most everyone else can. They still have to wait a little while. He was giving California, the state, and the representatives time to appeal his decision, which he assumed they were going to do, and they have announced that they are going to appeal his decision. Governor Newsom and the AG out there has already announced that. So what's going to happen is it's going to go in front of a 3-judge panel of the Ninth Circuit, and depending on the judges that are selected, it could be upheld or it could be overturned right then and there. However, if it is upheld, it's still supposed to be appealed again. This time it's going to go en banc in front of the entire Ninth Circuit, and at that point, most everything that I've read, all the news media coverage and all what everybody's saying out there is it's going to be overturned. I think that's what most people think, is it will be overturned. But that sets it up for the Supreme Court to have SCOTUS step in and take this case, which it would be really nice if they would just to do that, because you just have varying laws when it comes to the Second Amendment in the U.S. and it's a problem. You have different laws out in California, you have different laws in Texas, different laws up in New York, in the Northeast, different laws down in the Southeast. It's just so, it's just so uneven, and it's just, it needs to be addressed, and these states and cities need to stop undercutting Heller and the Second Amendment. So hopefully that is the end goal, is to that work out. Okay, so let's talk about it. I don't know a ton about California law because that's on the other side of the country. We're in North Carolina, so I've had to do a lot of reading and listening to what other people that know more about me had to say, and got to hear what like the opposition was saying and everything. It just seems like they're unhappy with it coming out on June 4th. It's apparently Gun Violence Awareness Day or something along those lines. I'm not really sure. I disagree with that terminology. So guns aren't violent. If you want to say people commit violence with guns, then okay, but guns are just tools, so I'm not going to play that game and go down that road. But I don't think Judge Benitez had any intention to do that at all. I think it was purely unconstitutional, his opinion. Most of us feel the same way. I think he was taking it down. I think he likes freedom. I think it has more of a meaning, because when I think of 6'4", I don't think of gun Violence Awareness Day or whatever. I think of an event that occurred in 1989, which is the Tiananmen Square incident. And if you don't know what the Tiananmen Square incident is, I highly suggest you go and research that, and there's plenty of photos and videos and articles and information out there for you to see what happened and learn more about what happened. I'll try to sum that up a little bit. The PLA, the People's Liberation Army of the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, who runs China, that's their military wing. They were sent into Tiananmen Square on June 4th, 1989, and they brutally put down a student protest with civilians, thousands of people. You just got to go and see what happened. It's very bad. With tanks and long guns, they just marched over the protesters. It was very bad. So people don't need to forget that. People need to always remember that and understand that the CCP is still over in China running the country. And I think Benitez putting his decision out on June 4th was also a swipe at governments like that, where here in the U.S. we have our Second Amendment right, we have freedoms. They don't. And you can kind of see the difference in how the government treats its basically subjects over there, where over here we're citizens. And the Second Amendment has a lot to do with that. Don't mistake that. But that also got me thinking too about all the different reasons in the U.S. to own firearms. There's many different reasons: for hunting, for self-defense, for defense of the free state, because you want to defend your business or your family, because they look cool, because you just want to, because you inherit them, and because history, which is got me thinking about one of the pieces that I own that we're going to take a little look at today. It kind of ties into everything that's going on right now. It is a pre-ban Colt Sporter target model, AR-15. Now when I'm talking pre-ban, I'm not talking about the California weapons ban. I'm talking about the 94 U.S. weapons ban, the federal weapons ban, which petered out. It went away in 2004 because it wasn't renewed. All this information, all gun crimes they're tracked. All these, there's federal, there's state, there's local municipalities, there's private industry. There's all different groups looking into these numbers and dissecting these numbers, and it's interesting to look at these and study the stats and the facts about what's going on. And some people, when you talk to them, they want to include things like suicide in with gun deaths, and that's very dishonest. So just kind of, you know who you're talking to if they're going to be kind of dishonest like that. But when you control for suicides and you just look at gun-related deaths and crimes committed with firearms, then you'll notice that long guns really aren't a big threat in the U.S. Most crimes and murders are committed with handguns. And that information was studied. So in 2004, the federal weapons ban expired because it made statistically no difference. It did not achieve any of the goals that the government was expecting to do. There was no noticeable statistical data showing it made any difference. And that was part of the argument in Judge Benitez's decision to toss out California's weapon ban. It's because this information has been studied, and he did not see any statistical data saying that this law actually did anything to help secure people's safety or whatever. Just, it's not there statistically speaking. So I kind of wanted to take a look at this particular AR because the Colt Sporter target model was made and began production in 91 and ended in 97. So basically the federal 94 weapons ban fell right in the middle there. So it's pretty cool to see that. And what I have is a pre-ban model, so it has an ST serial number, and if it's ST 38100 or below, it is pre-ban. If it's not, or if it has a CST, if you have a Colt AR with the CST serial number, that is also post-ban. And I'll put some information up. Alright, here we go. This is a good little resource if you guys are interested in looking up to see if older Colt ARs might be pre-ban or not. Here's the URL. And then of course, it's a nice website. It's got a lot of different information here. But here we go, Colt serial number lookup. Come on down here. The one we're going to be looking at today is a Sporter target model. So it's going to have an ST serial number, 6551. And then down here is the information you need. You can always call Colt if you would like. But we have pre-ban, post-ban, serial number range. So we'll come down and find ST. Here we go. So ST 38100 and below are pre-ban. And if you see a CST, basically anything, that is a post-ban. You might want to own a little piece of history yourself. It's really, really cool to be able to hold this stuff and see it and play with it and fire it and stuff. It's really, really cool. But all this information, Bushmaster, Colt, all these guys that were making ARs at the time had to have all their serial numbers accounted for and submitted to the U.S. government so that those firearms could be grandfathered in. So it's very easy to look these up. If you want more information on pre-ban ARs, they're pretty easy to get. But I'm gonna go grab it out the safe. I'll go clear a bench. We'll start with looking at the AR itself. We'll go over some of the identifiers, some of the marks on there. If you're in the market looking for a little bit of history to own yourself and you see one of these, we'll go over some of the markings and where to look for them at. We won't break down the bolt or anything like that. And everything is going to be where you can just you need to pop the bolt out in the carrier and look at everything just to make sure everything's good to go. If you're getting an AR, you just want to do a little inspection. And I'll show you kind of what to look for on there in case you want to see that stuff. We'll look at the lower, we'll look at the bolt carrier, barrel, all that stuff. We'll look at everything. And then we'll take it and we'll shoot it. Alright. You've probably already guessed, it shoots like an AR. I know the shot. But it's fun. I like shooting ARs. So we'll go shoot them real quick and wrap it up. Let's go. I was going to clear a bench off and do it on the bench, but the benches are full of like revolvers and bolt actions that are broken apart, and I don't want to lose any springs or pins or anything, so just figured we'll do this outside. I like being outside anyway, so no biggie. Alright, so let's start with the lower. Alright, one of the first things you might see is there's a screw here instead of your normal takedown pin. Most modern ARs just have 2 takedown pins. It's a little bit more secure. You know, this might get pushed and popped out. You know, could happen. I've never had one do that on me before, but it could happen. Where this is just screwed in there, so that's not going to just pop out. All right, so we do have our Colt Sporter target model, caliber 223, and then we have our serial right here. So we have an ST serial. Anytime you see an ST serial on a Colt AR, you're looking for 38,100 and lower, and you know that is a pre-ban. Alright, so next up, we'll go down the barrel a little bit. There you go, bayonet lug is what that is, right under that front sight there. These basically went away with the 94 weapons ban. You don't see those anymore on modern ARs, not typically anyway. It's very rare. I don't recall seeing one myself, except for on older models. I was going to get my Colt bayonet out to safe too and throw it on there so you could see it, but then I realized, oh wait, I don't have one, which sucks for me. But that is like the last thing I want to do. I do want to get a Colt bayonet so I can have that on there, and then I'm going to pretty much call this done. Alright, let's look at the barrel markings. Let me see if I can. Alright, you can see that pretty well. Alright, so we have a C. The C, of course, stands for Colt. That's their company mark. MP. The MP stands for magnetized particle tested, and they're just looking for flaws in the metal. We have 5.56 NATO, which is chambered in, and then a 1 and 7 twist. 1 and 7 twist, typically for most modern ARs, it's going to be a 1 and 7, 1 and 8, or 1 and 9. And all that's saying is for every 7 inches of the barrel, there's going to be 1 full rotation of the bullet. So that bullet is going to rotate 2 and a little bit more on its way out of the barrel before it does leave the barrel. 1 and 8 is going to get 2 full rotations before it leaves a 16-inch barrel. Then a 1 and 9, not quite 2 full rotations. And as far as ammo goes, what you might want to try to do is the 1 and 7, they typically like heavier bullets, so a 75 or a 77 grain is kind of what you want to shoot with those. If you're, you know, trying to get as tight a group as you possibly can. 1 and 9 likes the lighter stuff, so that'd be like a 55 grain bullet if you're trying to look for better grouping. Alright, let's take it down. So very, very, very easy. We're just going to pop the takeout pin. Get it on out of there. Make sure your bolt's forward. Alright, and the first thing we're going to notice right here, you see Colt. So that's what you want to see. Then we'll take charging handle and the bolt carrier group out. Alright, so the next mark we're going to look for is going to be on this side. This is what's facing out. It's your extractor, so it's kicking the spent brass out. But on the other side, you see we have a little Colt mark right here, just letting you know this is a Colt bolt carrier. Can you see that well? Right there, there's that C. Alright. Next thing you want to look for is on the bolt itself. Let's see if I can get in there. So you can see an MPC. right there. Yeah, you can see it pretty decently. MPC. But then you know that this is a Colt bolt and a Colt carrier, and that's what you want to see. So, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead. Another reason why ARs are so popular is because they're easy to break down and clean. First thing we're going to do is we're going to need to take this pin out. Then the firing pin's going to come out. And move this so it's the flat side's long, and that'll just pull right out. And your bolt comes out. Boom. And now you got everything where you can clean it up pretty easy, and you're good to go. Let me see this out if you can see that MPC a little better. See it pretty decent. It's tough to see, but in person you can see it a lot better. This is not the greatest camera in the world. Alright. Then you clean it up. Very, very easy. Just get everything wiped up and cleaned down. There is another pin right here. This is your extractor, so this pin is holding your extractor in. I typically don't clean this out every single time I clean my AR. What I like to do is after I shoot my AR, I'll wipe it down, clean it out a little bit. But every maybe 3 or 4 times, I'll pop this pin out, get the extractor out, and just clean it so carbon doesn't build up on it. All right, but let's put it back together. Very, very easy. Just back in the way you came. You want to make sure your extractor's on this side. All right. Then there's a little hole right there. And it just drops right down in it. Turn it. Firing pin right back in. And then pin to hold the firing pin in. Slides right in and you're good to go. Very, very easy. Now, I've seen some people struggle a little bit with putting a charging handle back in. It's very, very easy. There's a track here, and it's a little wider up on this end. Matches this right here. And it's just going to pop right on in. So, boom. Very, very easy. Very, very easy. Alright. So now we'll put the bolt carrier group in. Make sure your bolt's pulled all the way out. Boom, just clicks right on in place. Very, very simple. And that's it. Now you're ready to shoot. So let's do that. Let's shoot it. Alright, I'm left-handed, but I'll shoot right-handed so you guys can see the firearm better. Let's take the jug out. Hello, little fella. dump the mag. Very, 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 very fun. Alright guys, well I guess that's going to pretty much do it. Again, I want to hear from you. What do you think? What do you think about ARs? What do you think about, there's a lot of new people out there getting firearms. A lot of them have gotten the bug. Bugs bitten them and they're really into it. And then you got people in California that's going to be able to start getting ARs soon, hopefully. Maybe if it goes all the way up to SCOTUS, maybe even people in New Jersey and Hawaii and those places will be able to get ARs like everybody else can get too. That'd be great. But let me know what you think down in the comments. And hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching Metal Gunworks. Bye.